Michael O'Malley. Michael, if you'll state your name and county of residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Michael O'Malley. I live in Knox County. I'm also a parent of a KCS student. I'm also a teacher at Carter High School, and I'm also here to support Ms. Owen's resolution. I just think vouchers will harm our staff and students, and that the board needs to be clear about that. There's a lot of critiques about how vouchers will negatively affect state finances or school accountability, or to Ms. Bike's point, disability rights, and other education adjacent issues. And those are fairly well publicized, so I won't touch them. But maybe because I'm a teacher, one of the concerns foremost in my mind is how putting vouchers into Knox County would affect staffing in Knox County schools, and my school specifically. We all know that vouchers will result in at least a few students leaving our public schools for other options, because that's the choice that they're being given, right? The choice to not go to public schools, which is, of course, a parent's choice. But as someone who would be remaining in that system, I think a lot about what that would look like for those of us who are still there, since a good chunk of how the state and county allocate resources is determined by student enrollment. We're looking at least some of our schools losing staffing over this. And I think a lot about the schools like the one where I teach, schools whose smaller populations have already put them on the line for staff reductions fairly frequently, even without the downward enrollment pressure of vouchers. And when you're in the middle of it, those staffing reductions don't feel good, and they don't feel proportionate to whatever decrease in enrollment that you had. Suddenly you lose a whole secretarial position, or a whole counselor, or you have 6 English teachers when just last year you had 7, or the electives or AP classes that enrich students one year will disappear the next. These are things that have already happened in schools without vouchers affecting enrollment. And don't hear me say that we aren't still good schools, because we are, and we work hard to give our students as rich an educational experience as any other school. But the reality of what staffing reductions leave behind is an environment where people have to do more with less. And that's not fair to our staff, and especially not to our students, who I think also deserve the choice to be in publicly funded schools that reach all of their needs as they were previously, rather than whatever arbitrary new benchmark that we expect under vouchers. And especially as our high schools roll out these highly publicized 865 academies, which I know we all want to go very well, given all of the publicity and the hopes and investment in them. If they're to work with integrity, we need more staffing and not less. The very goals that we as a district say that we are working toward involve adequately staffing our schools with professionals who can follow through on the goals that we've set for us, and vouchers would make our ability to do that precarious, especially for already smaller schools. I realize that Knox County Schools doesn't actually have a say in this, since this is a state-level decision, but when several legislators who will eventually vote on the voucher bill, and some of which are still on the fence, according to their emails that...
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley.
Thank you.
Your time is up. Thank you, sir.